So let's breeze by the new roster moves because some of these matter. And by that I mean the LA Thieves move matters because the Ravens are still in the same spot in my opinion. So I haven't seen anything because whenever I went to look for the tweet, I couldn't find tweets. But I'm assuming Venom is subbing in for Temp on LA Thieves.
It's a good sub-in.
It is a good sub, and Temp is not a good fit for that team. I probably said that in like episode 2 of the podcast with Tej. I don't like Temp as a player. He's not a good personality to have in the call, especially with Slasher. That's two very abrasive personalities that have already been proven not to work. That team did not work in fucking World War II.
Yep. The Temp's a fantastic player. Do not get me wrong. It's just you can't have two
alpha males
exactly in one team, because then they start butting heads, and that's where the whole butting head situation, it's gonna happen.
Not to shit on Tim because I've already said I don't like him, but there's not really winning an argument with Slasher. The guy's kind of a fucking genius. He has a fucking 4-year degree in mechanical engineering. He will argue he will argue until you give up and start crying. And chances are he's gonna be right about whatever he's saying.
He's just a smart player in and out of game.
That's the other thing, like him, Clayster, and I think JCap, but JCap doesn't play anymore, but he's a coach, so it still applies. Clayster needed 1 semester to finish his degree in psychology. He went to the West Virginia University. I hate West Virginia, so Clayster, I'm sorry, I hate your alma mater, but yeah, I have your back and the side that you're going to be right most of the times whenever you argue. As far as JCap goes, I don't remember what JCap's major was, but I know he went to college more so than most of the other people in the league, because most of the people in the league weren't of college age, and they probably didn't want to go to college whenever they got their contracts. But that's neither here nor there. Venom in for Temp, and then the Ravens are the only other team. Actually, no. We'll come back to the other egregious one. We'll talk about the Ravens real quick. So, Alex had to deal with a family emergency. Alex is off the scene for an indefinite amount of time. He went back to England, and then they subbed in Zed for Alex. That's not new. That happened before the last major, but we didn't talk about it last time, so we're going to mention it now. Zed is in for Alex on the London Ravens. And then as of 2 days ago, Paul X is in for Parasite also on the Ravens. And then, in turn, Parasite is playing for Wester now, in for Paul X. So that was essentially a trade between Westar and the Ravens. That is a very East and West move. I don't really see that as a benefit either way. I feel like Alex was
the Ravens are still not winning a series.
No, not any means, but Alex, in my opinion, was their best player, so he's gone. Can't replace your best player. Not saying Zed's bad, but he wasn't on a pro team for a reason going into this season. And then Paul X, I know he's good. I don't know a lot about him. I don't think he would be that much of an upgrade over Parasite. The biggest issue for the Ravens, in my opinion, is Shawnee. Like, this is a very AR-heavy game, and just Shawnee... Shawnee's not a bad AR, but he definitely...
He's not a good one.
Exactly. He can't fucking hang.
He's not a good AR. I'm going to be straight up and honest about it.
I also don't think they have an IGL, because I don't see anybody on that team that gives me IGL.
Parasite would probably be the only IGL, and he's gone now.
Which is tough, so... Not only did you lose your best player, your main AR can't hang, and there's no IGL. In baseball, that's strike 3. I'll see you fucking later. I finally agree with TJ that London is worse than Paris.
We've been saying that. We knew. I hate London. I've hated London since the beginning or the end of last season when they dropped every single player.
I mean, I didn't like London, but I still think Paris was... not that great of a team. Paris might get exposed now that the XM4 is gone.
At least Paris is winning series.
I mean, that's true, but going into this year, I didn't think it was possible for anyone to be worse than Paris. But They
And the
proved me
whole
wrong.
XM4, we're gonna get on that topic later, but
That's next.
oh,
It's coming up soon because the next topic is probably going to be like a 5-minute talking point about why in the fuck the Toronto Ultra dropped Methodz, benched Methodz. Let me use the correct terminology.
we said it in it's in the YouTube. Was it in one of your Twitter clips? The Ultra Killer, Marky B.
Yeah, that was a Twitter clip where my teammate was using the Ultra Killer calling card from Cold War, and I was like, I wonder if Marky B uses that one.
How do you How do you bench Methodz?
How do you bench 1, your best statistical player, 2, your most winning player, and 3, your most like well-known player? Because it falls into what I said last year whenever the Toronto Ultra were having problems with Brack. Like, people aren't fans of the Toronto Ultra. They're fans of the players on the team. Like, there might be a handful of people from Toronto like, yeah, I like my hometown team, but at the end of the day, like, most people care about the players.
Like, think about it this way. If Scump and Formal were to leave Optic and go to London, I'd be a London fan.
We already saw that last year. Whenever Immortals stopped buying Optic Gaming's name would bring fans.
They brought him more hate than anything.
He's like, yeah, Scump is gone. Optic Scump is no longer Optic Scump. Immortals management is like, I don't get why they don't like us. We bought the Optic name. Why don't they like us? Where'd the green wall go? They went to Chicago. Simple. Dumbass.
Rip Bozo.
It's just tough, dude. Like, Methodz is competing in Challenge. I can't remember his team, but he's already announced he's competing in Challengers. That's just such a stupid move. Statistically, your best player, statistically, your most winning player, and your best personality. Oh, did you see the quote tweeted from the Toronto Ultra where they put the 5 players on the billboard and he was in the center? He's like, man, I love being on billboards.
I didn't see it.
Oh, let me see if I can find it real quick. Say what you were going to say. I'll find the tweet.
This was his best game since World War II, and he won a tourney in World War II.
A billboard in Toronto.
I look good on a billboard.
Yeah, dude, all 5 players are on that. Too bad it's a 4v4 game. Too bad the one that's front and center is your best player and he's not on the team right now. But
what do you do in Toronto? What's going on?
They just have a really bad history of making bad decisions. They did the same thing with Brack. Like, they treat their players like not great, and then wonder why people get mad, or like don't like what they do. Like, of course, you made stupid choices, unjustified stupid choices. Like whenever the Optic Dynasty broke up and they had to trade Formal and drop Karma, like that was a bad decision, but it was necessary in the moment. How the fuck do you justify dropping your best player other than he doesn't have a British accent? Because at the end of the day, that's what they were going for. Like, not the British accent thing, but this is the Singularity team that played at BO4 Champs, no? Fact check?
Fact check for what?
The team that has... The Toronto team right now, the 4 starting players are the Singularity team from BO4 Champs that shit on Envy. CleanX, Cammy, Insight, and whoever they're for. No, not Bance. Bance wasn't there, but...
No, yeah, Bance wasn't there. But the other three, yes.
So, obviously, Marky B is trying to play, like, the chemistry card, but I'm gonna let everyone in on a secret. It's very hard to have bad chemistry with Methodz. He is one of the most charismatic people in the fucking league. That's why he was, like, the face of the MOG talk shows back in 2014.
Hey guys, Parasite here.
Such a stupid... I can't... That's all I can say.
I lost all respect for Toronto. Like, I only like Toronto because of Zinni.